Good morning everybody. Let us start with 10th standard's second chapter of political science, that is federalism. So let us see what do you mean by federalism. Federalism means where the power is divided between the central authority and its constituent units. That means there are two levels of government in a federalism. There is one government for the entire country and one government for state only. So if the power is divided between central government and the state government, then that type of government is said to be having federalism. Here in the federalism, the central government has its own power and the state government has its own power. So they are independent of each other. The powers of the state government and central government are independent of each other. Now, apart from federalism, there is one more form of government which is called as unitary form of government. And as the name itself suggests, in the unitary form of government, either there is only one level of government, or even if there are subordinates, they are under the central government. That means the central government can pass order to the state governments. In that case, the whole power is concentrated in one power only, that is central government. So that is why such type of government is called as unitary government. In the last chapter, we have seen the example of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So Belgium has divided its power between the central authority and the state government. So Belgium is an example of federalism, while Sri Lanka has concentrated all its power in the central government and has not given the power to the Tamil states. So we can call that Sri Lanka is an example of unitary form of government. Now, federalism has certain features. So let us see the 7 features of federalism. Always the most important feature about federalism is there are 2 or more levels of government. Second feature is both the government govern the same citizens, but they have different jurisdiction in the matters of legislature, taxation and administration. Let us take example of India. India is having federalism. We are having central government also and state government also. That is, both the state government and the central government is ruling over the same citizens. But the same citizens are governed by 2 types of governments, and both the governments impose different laws on the people. Some taxes are imposed by the central government and some taxes are imposed by the state government. Some of the matters are made, laws are made on some of the topics by the central government and some of the topics laws are made by the state government. That means legislature is different for state and center. Type of taxation is different from center and state, and the way we are administered is also by 2 ways, one by central government and one by state government. So this is the second feature of federalism, that both the tiers of the government govern the same citizens, but they have different jurisdiction in the matter of legislation, taxation and administration. Then the third feature of federalism is the jurisdiction of each tier of the government is specified in the constitution. That means constitution has specially mentioned the powers of the central government and the state government. So the authority of the powers of the 2 tiers of the government is constitutionally guaranteed, and whatever provisions are given in the constitution cannot be changed by any one tier of the government. That means either the state government alone cannot change the laws, or the central government alone cannot change the laws. So if any change has to be made in the constitution, it requires the consent of both the central government and the state government. So that is the 4th feature of federalism, that the fundamental provisions of any tier of the, fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be changed unilaterally. Unilaterally means by any one form of government. It cannot be changed. It requires the consent of both the governments. Then the 5th feature of federalism is, if in case any problem occurs between the powers of central government and the state government, ultimate decision is given by the courts. That means court has the power to interpret the constitution. And since court's judgment is considered as the final judgment, so it is said that court is the umpire if any dispute arises between the central government and the state government. And this is likely to happen in federalism, that problems may occur related to power of central and state government. But in that case, court gives the final decision, and that is the fifth feature of federalism. The sixth feature of federalism is always there can be problem that from where the money will be received by the central government, so that the administration can be run by the central government, or from where the money will be received by the state government. So the sources of revenue for the central government and the state government is clearly mentioned in the constitution, and it is clearly mentioned on which subjects state government can make rule and on which subjects central government can make rules. And the subjects on which state government makes laws and any revenue generated from that area is received by the state government, and the topics or the subjects on which the central government make laws, that revenue is received by the central government. So both of them want to have financial autonomy, so that both type of government can function independently. So to have financial autonomy, the sources of revenue is also clearly mentioned in the constitution. That is the sixth feature of federalism. And the seventh feature of federalism is this system of federalism, it serves two objectives. There are two good things about federalism. One is it safeguards and promotes the unity of the country. When the power is divided between central government and state government, there is no problem between the people, and it also unifies the country because everybody is having their own independence. So independence will only lead to unity. So unity of the country can be safeguarded and promoted if federalism is there, or the power is divided between the central government and the state government. Moreover, one more good thing about federalism is that since every state is having their own culture and language, and they are free to do whatever they want in their state, and there is a state government to look after their culture, their language, and their other day-to-day needs. So those regions are having their autonomy, so they can function with regional diversity, and all the regions with diverse culture, diverse language can be accommodated in the one system called federalism. So ultimately there are 7 features of federalism, and one is 2 or more levels of government, that is central government and state government, and both the levels of government govern the same citizens but have different powers related to legislature, taxation and administration. The jurisdiction of each tier of the government is specified in the constitution. Then the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be changed unilaterally. It needs the consent of both the tiers of the government. The courts have the power to interpret the constitution. It acts as umpire if dispute arises between the central and the state government. Sources of revenue is clearly mentioned in the constitution to have financial autonomy, and the dual objectives are served by federalism. One is safeguard and promote the unity of the country, and one accommodate the regional. The exact balance of power between the central government and the state government varies from place to place. Now let us see 2 types of federations. One is coming together federation and one is holding together federation. In coming together federation, the independent states come together on their own with their own interest, and they form a bigger unit. In this type of federation, all the small constituent units, they come with full sovereignty. That means they are pooling their sovereignty, they are joining with their sovereignty. That means they are not losing their freedom. Without losing freedom, they are coming and joining with each other. They are not losing their identity, and with retaining their identity, they can increase the security of the country. Such type of coming together federations, examples are USA, Switzerland and Australia. And here all the constituent states have equal power. Now let us explain this with the help of USA's example. Previously, this United States of America was not a single country. It was divided into 13 small colonies, and all were ruled by the British. But when they wanted to be independent from the British rule, they knew that they cannot do it alone. So all these 13 American colonies decided that if we come together and fight against the British, then we can be independent. So in the effort to be free from the British rule, all the 13 American colonies came together of their own, and they formed a bigger unit themselves, and they fought with the British, and in that way they became independent. But later on, all these 13 American colonies decided to remain together always, and they formed a new nation called USA, that is United States of America. So this example itself shows that all were independent states before they came together. But having their independence, without losing their independence and their identity, they came together and formed a bigger unit. And even now, all the areas of United States of America have their own powers, and that too equal powers with each other. The second type of federation is the holding together federation, where the constituent units do not come of their own. It is not their own wish to come together. Here, large country divides its power between constituent states and national government. That means in such a type of country, there is a central government that is called as national government, and there are state governments also. India, Spain and Belgium are the examples of holding together federation, and opposite to coming together federation, in holding together federation, central government has more power than the states, and the different constituent units have unequal power, and some are having special powers also. Here let us take the case of India and explain it further. As you know, when India became independent from the British rule, all Indian states were not united. All were ruled by different rulers, and it was ultimately decided that the whole India should come together and be one nation. And for that, as you know, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wanted to unite India, and so he persuaded all the Indian rulers to come together and join the Indian Union. So that here, this large country, which we can call as India wanted to unite all the smaller states so that a nation, Indian nation, can be formed. Here, when we study further this chapter, we will come to know that different subjects are there on which rules are made, and always the central government is given more preference than the state government in this type of federation. The laws which are made on certain topics, central government makes laws on more topics than state government. That means central government gets more revenue and have more authority than the state government. While here in coming together federation, we found that all the states are having equal powers. Here in holding together federation, different constituents have unequal power. That means in India, if there are 28 states, all states do not have equal power. That means some are given special powers also. Like till now, you know that till recently Jammu and Kashmir was having a special constitution of its own. That means it was having a special power. Moreover, all the states were not equal. Some were union territories also. So union territories were having different rules than the states. Union territories ruled by lieutenant governors. So all the states or constituent units do not have the same power as in case of coming together federation. So in holding together federation, forcefully they were asked to come together and mix with each other, while in coming together they came on their own and formed a bigger unit.